One of the things that I really have been working on is building my happiness quotient over any other feelings or emotions I might have. And that actually happiness is not really a feeling, but something that occurs when you have good times and shared memories with people and those good energies. And that creates a base for happiness, those shared memories and events. What kind of got me started thinking about happiness, because I'm not happy all the time. I have sad days. I have grumpy days. I have angry days or moments, if you want to call them. I don't think I'm angry all day or sad all day, but you can have those moments. I prefer to be authentic in my feelings than not authentic in my feelings. And I can't pretend to be someone I'm not. So this is who I am. This is who it is. But I've thought a lot about happiness because I spent a day with a dear relative last summer, and she asked me at one point, "Are you always this happy?" And I just looked at her and I said, "No, I'm not always this happy, but I'm happy in this moment that I'm sharing with you and with your family and with the physicist. I'm happy in this moment, and I'm happy that I'm making these memories with you." And that's sort of what got me thinking about it, was that happiness is not a feeling. It is a generated state of being that you have when you create these shared memories, when you create these moments with other people, with doing certain events that just engage that happiness meter within you. And so that's what happiness is actually to me. It is the moments that I create with other people that I love and enjoy and have fun with. And it is in doing various different things that bring me personal joy, like working on a project and making it come to fruition and seeing that project grow and become a story and completing it and sharing that with people. That also makes me happy. So one of the podcasts I like to listen to, it is Arthur Brooks' Office Hours podcast. And I have the link in the description below so you can find him easily enough. And he talks a lot about the science behind happiness. He has all these tests that you can take for free. I took one of them and it pretty much was me, who I am. I have highs and I have lows. I'm not extreme I'm not as extreme as I used to be, but I do tend to do a high-low kind of a thing. I feel things deeply, whether I'm happy, sad, mad, or glad. So he affirmed for me that happiness isn't a feeling. It's measured by enjoyment, by spending time with others and creating shared memories. And you can learn more about that by following his podcast, because he's got all kinds of great ways for you to overcome other issues that might prevent you or block you from being happy. And one of the things I talked about with myself in my little head was, how do I create these moments of happiness? And how can you create these moments of happiness that you can carry with you on the days that aren't so great or during those moments that are not so fun? Because we all have them. And you can't pretend something that you don't feel. So one of the things I suggest is gathering with friends and family who love you, who support you, and who make time for these events. You can create them yourself, or you can just say yes to more things. Another thing that you can do based on saying yes is just say yes. If you're an introvert, then you're not going to say yes as often, because that wouldn't make you as happy, but you might be happy reading a book or spending time with your children and doing quiet things or fun things with them or your spouse. It's not how many people you spend time with. It's not about being extroverted or introverted. It's about the best ways to find happiness and create those moments within yourself, so you can carry them through the darker days. I had a friend that did that. She moved to another country part-time, and she said yes to everything. And out of saying yes to everything, she found a very good core group of friends that she could make more memories with and more shared happiness with. And out of that came more friends and more shared memories and more events. So it was a really brilliant idea. So I did the same thing after the pandemic lifted. We just moved here to our city in Central Texas. We didn't really know anybody other than our daughter and our immediate neighbors, who were fabulous, but at different stages of their lives, young parents, older, in different places, grandchildren, you name it. We didn't have any of that. We had our daughter and her boyfriend after he moved here, and then their cat and her friends. So we started saying yes to everything that we could say yes to. We went to our neighbors' kids' soccer games. We went to the dance team stuff. We went to different events around town. We just said yes. And out of that, slowly and surely, we developed a community of friends that are unfortunately spread pretty wide apart, but we have a lot in common and we enjoy each other's company a lot. So that helps to create the shared memories, the shared fun times that can, fill up that happiness meter with within us, and we really enjoy them. And the other thing is also we say yes to traveling a lot more because most of our people are not here, or most of our dearest friends and family are spread out all over the world in other countries or other states, and we enjoy spending time with these lifelong friends as well. And so we're always looking for ways to connect. Same with some of our family members. They live in different countries. We also want to spend time with them. We just say yes to more travel, yes to more hanging out with new friends, yes to any new event that might come up. Oh, there's a party over here to celebrate X thing that we fought really hard for. Then, hey man, we're in it to win it. And that helps to create more happiness, endorphins, I guess. And so with those memories, we are building a community again where we can be happier and we can be ourselves and we can be free. So that's another way. Another way to build happiness is to pursue those things that you love that bring you great joy. Like I love writing. I love doing these vlogs. They're a little bit different for me. I love spending time with young people. I love going into different situations where I can influence young people into voting or doing the things that I feel very passionately about. So yeah, service to others, doing for others. How can that not bring a measure of happiness to you? I know I get great satisfaction from helping register first voters in high school. So I've really been enjoying doing that. And I've plugged into 2 events for that even next week, because then I'm surrounded with people that enjoy the same values as me, and that increases my happiness meter volume. And I may not see these other people that are doing the presentations other than when we do these presentations, but it adds to our community effort and shared memories, and that creates more happiness within me. And the other way you can do that too to create happiness is take care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. Take care of yourself, read good books, fill your brain with happy things, watch good movies, do the things that you love, work out for sure. And I've really been enjoying the life makeover challenges that I've been doing with my friend in the Netherlands because it connects us at a different level and reminds us of where we were 20 years ago versus now. So that's another thing to do that brings me happiness, because we can cover these different topics and we're kind of in the same boat with different demands upon our time, but still finding those wonderful moments where we can share our happiness stuff, and also where we can support each other, because it's important to have support. The other thing I really recommend is avoid negative noise and people. They're either online, you may not know them, you may know them, they may be so unhappy in themselves that they can only make themselves happy if they're trying to, rain on your happiness parade, so to speak, as I've spoken of before. Raining on your happiness parade doesn't do them really any good. And letting that drown your joy is not good either. So finding a way to overcome those kind of things is very important. I will confess that if something takes root into my head, because I'm a thinker and I tend to ruminate a lot. If something takes root in my head, it often takes me a while to kind of push that toxicity out of my head. And I get very frustrated with myself over it, but I know that this is just part of my personality. I tend to do these things. I tend to go over it. And the only way I know how to get rid of the toxicity is, first of all, eliminate the source. Wherever it's coming from, just block it. And then I also have to eliminate the negativity that I have ingested inside of me by talking to trusted people in my life to get affirmation of who I am from them again. Like they give me their support. They tell me why they love me. They tell me why what I'm doing is a good thing. They support me in those tangible ways. They'll support me behind the scenes. They'll private message me. They'll call me on the phone. And so I get that drop of happiness, slowly refilling the part of me that was attacked, essentially. I mean, even if it's not someone it still feels like an attack. And so how do you fend off attacks on your happiness? Well, you find other people who want you to be happy and who are willing to share experiences with you, whether it's phone calls, private messages, making jokes, talking it out, talking the situation out, and giving you the support that you need. And then once again, your well can fill up with all the good stuff and not carry all that negative toxicity. And I've worked very hard to work on those things because I grew up in kind of a not negative environment. My parents had difficulty. They were in concentration camps when they were young. I totally get it. They owned their problems. They did the best that they could, but they weren't really meant to be they just weren't the best parents in the world. They were great people and they did the best they could with the tools they had, but the tools they had were minimal. So when I grew up, after leaving home at 16, I told myself from now on, it was my responsibility to be a happy person, to live a joyful life, and to take the steps to ensure that I would be psychologically strong enough to withstand other attacks of that nature, whether it came from within my circle of family or whether it came from without, from people I didn't know. There's always someone out there who just wants to rain on your happiness happiness parade. And if that makes them feel happy, well, more strength to them. I would hate to be that kind of a shallow person, but if you're at that point in your life, and regardless of age, and especially if you're older, then something within you has failed to grow and thrive. And that's your problem to solve, not mine. So, I hide negative comments. I block people who bring negativity into my life, whether it's virtual or real. I can just quietly back away, walk away, say goodbye, and build on the good things that I want to build on. So one of the things I think I've talked to you about before is I have a quote that I read every day, every morning during my personal wellness time. And it is, the secret to change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Socrates. So if somebody's being negative, I just decide not to fight that. I work on the places and the people where I can have a positive interaction and where I can be happier with myself. So I just work on the people and the things that bring me joy and focus on building the new, whether it's new stories, new relationships, forging stronger bonds with the people that I know who care about me. I focus on those things. And that's another way for me to get rid of the negative toxicity that can come into your life. And I take extra good care of myself in doing so because I seek those positive interactions and I seek those experiences. So I basically, I just finished a very, very busy week. It was tiring. I was part of the election process, which was interesting, especially where I live, but I did it and it was fun and I will do it again. Well, I wouldn't say it was totally fun, but I liked the group I was with and I made a memory with them and I like these people and I want to spend more time with them doing these kind of things. So I was very happy to do it. So I did that, but I was really, really tired. So I had to kind of back away a little bit and take care of me and finish up some projects and take care of filling up my happiness meter and making it feel strong again so that I could go into the next week being able to help others. I'm going to go back into, like I said, register voters in the high schools next week. I'm looking forward to that. So I've kind of cleared my docket a little bit and I have some work to do that brings me joy. That is finishing up my edits when they come back to me, getting the book ready to put on the market and getting all of those little nuts and bolts in place. And that brings me joy too, because that means I've accomplished something else again. I've done something that I love and I've created another story and I have another story to create waiting for me on deck. So all of that brings me joy and brings me happiness. And it doesn't matter if you're a writer or an artist or whatever, everyone can find a way to connect with something inside of themselves that makes them feel accomplished and strong. And it's not about making money or anything like that. It's more about filling your happiness meter, like do the things you love and don't worry if anything big follows it, just do it. Am I always happy? As I said to my dear, dear relative, no, I'm not always happy. I do experience periods of sadness and grief and anger and frustration, just like every other normal human being in the world does. But I really try to get through them as quickly as possible so that I can get back to doing the things I love, reaching out to the people I care about, and making a difference in the world, one baby step at a time. You're never too old to do that. So it's a process. What I try to do is be very honest with myself and not worry about what other people's opinions are. Now, that's a pretty deep old wound for me because I had a pretty difficult situation at home where I never ever really quite lived up to the expectations, very high, bizarre expectations that my mother had of me. But I got out of that. I escaped and I became the person that I slowly evolved into becoming today. And I pursued my dreams and I pursued my passions and I built a family and I did all the things that I needed to do to have that happy, fulfilled, grown-up life that I so wanted. And I get through the negative times and the troll times by being honest with myself, by accepting where I am in that moment and being authentic with myself that, yeah, no, I'm not perfect. I'm going to blow it every once in a while. Sometimes I blow it really, really bad. And I really feel badly about doing that. But I also have learned to forgive myself because if I can't forgive myself, how can I forgive anybody else for their behavior or their actions? And I don't always need to get an I'm sorry from the people that are trolling in my life or don't like me or have treated me poorly for some reason or another. I can just forgive them for myself and then I can let it go. It's pretty basic, but it works. Or as a girlfriend of mine once said, just imagine their heads on balloons. They're just all balloons and they're floating in the sky and you can just pop them and eliminate them that way. Pop the balloons, pop those negative balloons. I think that's a great idea. And I've tried it a couple of times. But I'm honest with myself And it's a lifelong process to bring joy into your world. And there will be grief, and there always is. There will be sadness. There will be sorrow. But I do try to find the happy again, because I want to be happy. I want to feel that, not just that it's not an emotion, but I want to have those shared memories. And the only way I know how to do that is to continue to travel, to continue to pursue the things I love, and to continue to build connections here and everywhere else in the world that I have connections to do all of those things. That's how I do it. That may not be necessarily how you do it or how you want to do it. It all depends on your personality type. And again, Arthur Brooks has some great tests to kind of like dig into that, because we can't go against who we really are, because then we're not being authentic. Yeah, it's a process. And I seek to build happy moments, laughter, and I try to be kind more often than not. I try to be courageous in making new connections and stepping out of my comfort zone, because I too have, levels of discomfort in big crowds or in new situations. I have to work at being more confident in that even now. And I feel like for me, the best way for me to create happiness within myself is to be that person that I feel I'm in most like, which is I like to encourage and motivate people and to help them along in their journeys, whether it's to becoming writers, published, or just being, young moms, saying good things to them, encouraging my friends at the gym, like, hey man, you're really hitting it hard and you're doing a good job and I can see the results. And in just trying to be as kind and good as I can, knowing that I'm not always going to succeed, but that's okay, because I've learned to forgive myself and move on. So, I seek people who are equally as good to me, who have similar values, who support and uphold and uplift me. And I avoid the people who don't, because there's no time in my life for anybody to, rain on my happiness parade. I have the opposite goal. I want to find happy moments, and I want to feel the sun shining on me, even on the dark and gloomy days, which are my worst days, by the way, but I still manage to find some happiness. So looking for joy, looking for those small moments of peak happiness, moments where you're generating memories with your children, with your spouses, with your friends, with people that you might just do volunteer work with stories that you read, stories that you write, the things that you enjoy doing, then that just fills you up. And that's what I'm really working on with this vlog, is I want this to be a positive, encouraging, and motivating place for people to be safe in their feelings and to be authentic, and to provide some kind of a roadmap to, just living a happier life, even within times of trouble. We can always still find moments of joy. And when we find those moments of joy, we fill up our happiness meter. So that's where I'm at today. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, that'd be great. Again, this is more a journey for me. I'm feeling happier than I ever have in a long time with, my physical health, which is really great. Ooh, I got some good news too. I am increasing my muscle weight and decreasing my fat weight. More about that later. Anyway, I'm happy, and I hope you are finding a way to be happy in your world too, and that you're finding people to share these experiences with, and ways to join, to connect with that happiness meter. Have a great day.